Let's get into the deal now. We have joining us as usual, Managing Editor, Gloom TV, Ayodele Adio. Good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to see you, Ayodele.
Same here. Thank you for having me.
Let's begin with the Punch newspaper this morning. Government to set up cattle ranches in Oyo, Ebonyi, Kaduna, and others. In fact, it's supposed to be 10 states as pilot. And Defense Minister shouldn't be Miyetti Allah's mouthpiece. Governor Otom of Benue State is saying that.
Well, thankfully,
this is what should have
reason is
happened in
beginning
the first
to
place.
prevail because, I mean, you don't need a prophet to tell you that ranches are the way forward. I mean,
we've even had them before.
We've had them before.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what the tussle was for so long a time is completely beyond me. Yeah, because countries who have produced better beef and have exported them to the entire world, countries like Brazil, even in a country in Africa as small as Botswana is doing much more in beef production than we do, and all of these countries
when you raise the issue of the fact that we've always done or gone the way of ranching, is it not a reflection of where we are today, the mutual distrust and mistrust among Nigerians, that when government says, states, is it possible for you to give up some land for ranching? And the first reaction is, no, we don't have land. Now, Benue State, for example, is saying, look, we are the food basket of the country. Yeah. We don't even have any land, not enough land for farming. How much more give for ranching?
Well, I mean, that's the consequence of the failure of government over the years to manage the peace in the land. Because, the moment killings have happened on both sides, it is natural for there to be distrust. It's natural for there to be hard feelings amongst both sides of the divide. So I'll be reluctant to give up my land for you if I feel that you're going to kill me tomorrow. And of course, that's a direct consequence of the failure of the government over the years to keep the peace. And that's why we begin to distrust ourselves today.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So the way forward, has started now. Ranches are the way forward. And I do hope, that the Miyetti Allah and other cattle rearing, organization key into this vision and move the country
All right,
forward.
we'll look forward to lasting solution to that. Many fear dead as piles of plywood fall off truck on Lagos Bridge, and it happened yesterday.
That was the
Bridge, really sad.
Yeah, incidentally, it just happened right when I was on the other side going from church yesterday night, and it was a despicable sight to see. You see, I don't know when we would realize that the value of human life cannot be quantified. Every single day on Lagos roads, you see trucks carrying containers that are not properly manned on the carriage.
On that Ojuelegba bridge that is already looking very precarious.
Exactly.
It's always scary driving on that.
Driving on that bridge.
You have, first of all, let's not even talk about the dead weight on that bridge. There's for the past 6 months, you've had dead weight. I mean, you just need to Google and see the consequence of having dead weight on the bridge.
And those bridges are not designed
for such a thing. And then you have these containers that are not even properly manned on the carriage that could easily fall off.
We've had those cases before.
It's
containers
happened like
have
fallen
2-3 times,
and then nobody just simply cares.
It's really sad. Well, governorship poll, Osinbajo, Tinubu, 12 governors storm Ekiti for Fayemi. It was like the mother of all rally.
I mean, unfortunately, that's what our politicians are good at. You go dance in rallies and make empty promises to people is extremely annoying. And the basic tenets of governance, you shove to the other side. People die needlessly every day in this country. But I mean, we're always present in rallies.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
But someone has said all that crowd usually does not necessarily translate to the votes. But
you know why? Some would say it's because people just look forward to the crumbs that will fall from the master's table.
That's as simple as ABC.
Yeah.
Anyone can get a crowd in any state if you have the right liquidity.
Okay. It's all right. Let's just run through these other ones. Verify tax certificates before paying contractors. Federal government tells MDAs. And Lagos firm deducts workers' pensions without remittance, owes gratuities. In 2017 budget, 1.58 trillion naira released for capital projects, says federal government. And Eagles hold crisis meeting as raw plans changes. I guess this is one thing Nigerians would like to hear.
What is what's the
The crisis meeting.
what's the crisis meeting about? You know,
That meeting should have happened before the
Before
World
the-
Cup.
before the match.
Before
Exactly.
the match.
Okay,
It's-
let's
Because
move
the
on.
outcome of the friendlies, they should have held crisis meeting
There
even
you go.
shortly after the friendly.
All right, the Daily Sun
dear.
reports towards resolving herders-farmers clashes. FG to set up 94 ranches in Oyo, Edo, and 8 other states. Of course, project to gulp 70 billion naira in 3 years. We hear that government is already going shopping for that amount of money. We will stop ISIS. ISIS inroad, FG vows.
Well, I heard the very sad news that ISIS are beginning to do a few recruitments in the country.
And training,
training a few
terrorists in
people.
Nigeria.
I think it was sometime last year. I can't remember exactly whether it was October or November, when you had elements of ISIS take down about 4 American soldiers, you know, somewhere in Niger, the border of Niger, you know. And then I remember raising an alarm about the fact that it's shocking to know that ISIS are operating very close to the Niger border, and we seem not to have raised, you know,
Raise the flag.
raised the flag at that particular point in time. So I'm not surprised, you know, that you have elements of these, you know, ISIS fighters trying to make inroads in the country. First, we have conceded, you know, to the world that our borders are so porous, and there's nothing we can do about it. So please come and enter our borders, because that's what we've said consistently, that we have such a huge landmass. Even if you put all the soldiers on our borders, we can't effectively police.
And when
we've made
government
all of that
says we're
excuses.
doing everything, Nigerians be rest assured that we are doing all it takes to ensure that ISIS does not, you know, have any inroad to Nigeria. What exactly is government doing? Really,
You know,
come to think of it?
I have no idea.
Because we don't have-
because
Maybe they're
I
gathering
do
more
think-
intelligence. That's
Okay.
the point there is when
I
it comes
think
to
what is
issues
lacking-
when it comes to issues of security, they've always said you can't see it. It's not something tangible
But can
that
we
you
feel
can.
But you
it?
can
At
feel
least
it.
Can we feel it?
Exactly. So that's the question.
You can't see the strategy, of course, because strategy is intangible, but you can feel the outcomes of a particular strategy. But I think what is grossly lacking in our entire security apparatus is the lack of harmony, you know, around the African region. There is no central intelligence, you know, across the African region that shares military and security intelligence like you have in the European Union, you know, and all of that. We need to develop that architecture where we can easily share intelligence across, particularly the Sahel region. I think that's a particular troubling spot, you know, in the continent. We need to be able to share intelligence between Mali, Chad, Libya,
Cameroon,
Nigeria, Cameroon, and all of that, except
Sudan.
we're able to do that effectively.
Okay.
And even within the country, there has been allegations against the security agencies in the
Of not
country
working in
of not
tandem.
not working cohesively.
Yeah.
The army has its own intelligence. The SSS or DSS has its own intelligence.
yeah.
The police has its own intelligence.
I mean,
Navy has its own
unfortunately,
intelligence.
fortunately, that's supposed to be the job of the National Security Advisor.
But he has even raised alarm at the time of insubordination.
Now that's the problem you seem to have in this country.
That is the cocoa of the matter.
Exactly. That's a big challenge.
The Daily Sun reports generator fumes kill family of 7 in Edo State. And guess what? This family actually put their generator in the kitchen. And it's what you've heard over and over again in the past of, you know, such or similar situations where they actually put their generator inside the house.
Inside the house.
Who does that?
That's really sad.
It's really, really sad. Really, really,
That means
really
somebody's
sad.
failing in their duty of maybe some kind of public enlightenment.
I mean,
something.
again, it is not rocket science to know that public enlightenment has collapsed in this country. And, you know, friends call me every now and then, you know, when I write columns, and I'm quite hard on the DG of Voice of Nigeria, because I believe
And
strongly.
the NOA.
I believe strongly that I mean, your job as DG of VON of Nigeria is to spark or to trigger a national reawakening. It's your job to ensure things like this don't happen. It's your job to ensure that Nigeria has a good image globally. It's your job to ensure that in places of crisis, I mean, you don't have an idea how important it is for these cattle rearers to hear on the radio every single day that they should move to ranching. It's so important. I was in a small
That is
local
the way
government.
to go, and you know how it will benefit them.
You know, I was in
Nobody's
Jamaica
telling
local
them that.
government, and an old woman
In Adamawa State.
in Adamawa State ran a commentary because she had listened to BBC Radio Hausa and was telling me what was happening in the world. I was shocked at the influence that an old woman in a village could properly analyze news stories because she had access to the news radio. So it's very important for us to disseminate information
And
through all of this.
one good thing is, when you go to the north, those in the bushes or those in the they are good with the radio.
Exactly.
And it's
Extremely
you'll be
good with the
baffled
radio.
how very enlightened.
Every megad has
People
his
exactly.
transistor
They
radio.
have information of what is going on across and that is what either the NOA or the viewer, like you said, are supposed to cash in on and take advantage
The
of that.
numbers don't lie.
But they're not.
Kano has the
Okay,
highest
let's move on. Let's
penetration
move
in
on.
Africa.
Let's move on. Of course, the Sun also reports the story of the container that fell off the Ojuelegba bridge, that crushing 4 vehicles and, of course, killing 3. And we hear that those numbers could actually rise. And can PFN kick against death sentence on Christians in Adamawa? What do you make of this? Very briefly, if you can.
I'm not sure what it means by death sentence
On Christians.
of Christians in Adamawa, and I do like the fact that this reductionism, if you'd like, of reducing every killings to
religious or
Christian
ethnic,
Muslim or ethnic.
They were accused of killing herdsmen and
I mean,
death
it's
sentence passed on
really
them by a
sad.
court.
Yeah,
Some of
But
these
the point there
issues
is
should be
actually-
seen as a crime, for
and
what it
not-
is, and should be dealt with accordingly. The moment we continue to filter all of these things through religious and ethnic lines, we're not going to make any meaningful progress in this
I
country.
think CAN and PFN are reputable religious organization that should, sieve these things before, because
yes.
on the basis of religion,
Okay.
just because these persons are said to be Christians,
Let me be very honest with you. If this world, I keep trying to tell people that if this world was made of just Igbo Christians, we will still kill each other. We'll still steal from each
Exactly.
There you
other.
go.
We will still take each other's wives.
That is when you will know that the Abia man is different from the Anambra person and all of that. So let's move to the Vanguard newspaper now. Federal government rolls out a 179 billion naira plan to end farmers' herders' crisis and plan to build on 6 pillars: investment, conflict resolution, law and order, relief, information, and cross-cutting issues. And 10 states have been earmarked on the pilot scheme, which is going to take about three years for 70 billion naira and then 10 years for 179 billion naira.
I mean, as long, I don't care how much is thrown into it, as long as at the end of the day, 3 things
Are missing?
no, as long as 3 things come out of this initiative. One is the fact that the security of lives and properties are guaranteed at the end of the day. 2 is the fact that we tame what is supposed to be a food security crisis in this country. And that doesn't seem to doesn't raise the alarm, the corridors of power. Because the production of food is drastically dropping across the northern parts of the country.
She has been talking about the
If
price
you-
of tomato
It's
all the while. The
unbelievable.
price,
It is
the realities
Do you know
are
what?
setting in.
I went to the Malam that, I buy all those stuff, salad stuff and all of that. Consistently, over time, in the recent months or weeks, if you like, you'd see that his stand is so scanty.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's so
Comparative to
scanty
how it used to
compared
be.
to how it used to be. Every time you looked at the stand those days, it was always inspiring. Oranges, mangoes, and all kinds of things, watermelons. But now it's just.
In fact, I think that is
these
the
are
biggest.
the realities. So
Yes,
when you hear that the food basket is in crisis, Nasarawa State that is close to the food basket is
And
in crisis.
Taraba.
Taraba State that is also close to the food
Is in
basket is in
crisis.
crisis. Adamawa is in crisis.
Where do you
Plateau
think
is
the
in
food will
crisis.
come from?
Where would the food
Kaduna,
come
Southern
from?
Kaduna is in
Southern
crisis.
Kaduna is in crisis. And that is
Maiduguri
where
is in-
all the onions
Maiduguri
and
is
all of
crisis.
those, that's where they come from.
So this is a
The
clear and
amount
present
of
danger that we're not
farmlands,
dealing
the
with the way we
amount of
should.
farmlands on that
Yeah.
Abuja-Kaduna
Okay.
expressway
Yes.
is unbelievable. And that's another crisis spot now in
right.
the country. So
All right, we have APC convention, president's interest, rattle aspirants permutations. PDP will collapse when I assume office. Oshomole is saying that.
Just move on.
All right. Otom asked defense minister to apologize over anti-grazing comments, and why Buhari ignored NPDP presidency is trying to give explanations as to that, and says talks will continue after all. And okay, that's on the Vanguard newspaper now.
Okay, and to this day, APC Governors National Working Committee, that's the NWC, on collision course over convention unity list. Of course, we heard about that unity list yesterday. As far as this unity list is concerned, it's like the more things change, the more they remain the same. Okay, 1.6 trillion naira capital releases cash backed in 2017, says Adeosun. What else is truly of interest here? FG tightens security at airports and borders over ISIS threat. Buhari not bluffing NPDP, awaits final briefing, says presidency.
I mean, I think the NPDP issue is being on the front burner of the reconciliatory committee in the APC. And I mean, I'm sure the PDP will be excited, you know, that they are taking a stubborn stance towards the NPDP. Whether you like it or not, they form a formidable
they are
bloc.
waiting with open arms.
They form a formidable bloc of the APC, and you ignore them at your own peril.
Yeah,
you know, at the
all
end
right.
of the day.
And hope rises for better power supply as generation rebounds to 3,876 megawatts. Okay. Did you sleep with lights?
Obviously, I did not.
You did not.
But my generator was just on all the way.
To be fair, I slept with light yesterday.
I
but
actually woke up.
We may have to move to your house, to your area.
Alarm clock
to be
went
fair, I
off.
did.
The light came on. I'm like,
Yeah, you see?
To be fair, I did, but I've been celebrating 3,000.
My generator was on all through
All
the night.
through, okay.
You know. Okay, New Telegraph now is the last paper I have here. Herdsmen attacks. Nigeria loses 5 trillion naira annually. The federal government to build 94 ranches in Benue, Ebonyi, and other states. And the government mulls 179 billion naira spending on policy. And why Buhari ignored NPDP presidency is giving explanations to that. And then terror threats. Federal government beefs up security at airports. Presidency approves special funding for MDAs. And, well, defense ministers from 28 countries meet on security. And that they met in Abuja. 2017 budget, federal government disburses 1.5 trillion naira to MDAs. Okay, well, that's that.
is it not supposed to be signed today?
Well, we told you the taste of that of the budget signing has. But this is from the 2017 budget.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the newspaper updates now, or the headlines read right there. Ayodele, we thank you, but we'll be keeping you for the next discussion now. Thank you.
All right, stay with us.